Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a DbD discussion video with gameplay in the background. Yeah, this is a build that you can use for Oni if you would like. I can't say that it is the end-all be-all of Oni builds as I slowly work through updating, working builds for everybody for this new meta, but it hasn't treated me wrong yet. So, try it if you want. Which kind of leads to what you can probably tell from the title. Today's discussion is the meta. Um, I can't believe that I'm so happy to be wrong, and I think a lot of us that have made videos on or streams or whatever have made content on what the meta would look like after the mid-chapter update, um, are happy to be completely wrong about it. I haven't seen one universal survivor build pop up, and I haven't seen a universal bad guy build pop up. And that is fantastic and refreshing. I know a lot of people are upsetty spaghetti right now that they can't run the same 4 perks and win every game anymore. Oh no, my and my unbreakable, decisive, borrow time hasn't worked forever, and their game is going downhill, and my all of brine, overcharge, eruption, uh, barbecue isn't working, right? You know, it's been quite the battle on my channel to try to expand people's horizons to other builds that can be used, because way often way too often when I put out a build I get some random that's just like, oh, this won't work at high MMR, and that is something that is annoying, not because it's just a rude comment on my channel. I get those enough that I don't care anymore. But it is annoying because too many people are still trapped in this mythical high MMR way of thinking. Yes, there is MMR in this game, and I'll be honest, it truly only separates people that are brand new from the game and people that aren't. I've been playing this game for years now. I've, I've done all the things that are like top red ranks, Eerie 1, so on and so forth. I've gone against comp teams that were practicing shenanigans. It doesn't really get too intense unless you actively try to make it intense with something like a Discord server group for practicing comp. You're not really going to find too many of those teams in pubs. They're probably scrimming. So that's always been a point of concern when you try to make content for a build and people are only concerned, well, it won't take down the meta. So what do you do after that? Which is why I personally can't be more happy with the state of things now. Yeah, I know I've talked about how I'm bored, that there's nothing new, per se. Like, as you can see, we've thrown on uh, Gearhead and Blood Echo and a few other things. Oh, and Fearmonger and things like that. To mix it up and put it on new builds, because that's pretty much all you really need to do now for the bad guy side. You just need something to stop exhaustion and maybe some tracking, little razzle dazzle of gen slowdown if you really want. But it's no longer such a pain to try to tell people that you don't need to focus on regression the entire match just to win. That's not to say that I don't lose my fair share of games. Sometimes I just truly do not care. I don't. and I'm just testing something really quickly. And sometimes, yeah, I still lose when I'm trying. That's because we're playing a game versus other people. If I was playing this game and I never lost ever, even when I'm trying, I don't think I'd be playing this game anymore. So, to the point about calling the meta right, it's interesting to see that I'm not seeing a lot of the perks that we've called. This kind of comes off of the back of seeing a discussion revolving around Blood Rush and how all the bad guy mains were terrified of it, and for good reason. It's just like how I've been trying to tell people. I'm in that group of people that tries to tell you that DS actually is still okay. I've seen more Unbreakables. I've seen more that one perk. What's that one perk? While I am thinking and recording, the Atom perk, the where you pull yourself off the hook. Can't think of it at the moment right now, but I've seen more of that. I've seen quite a few different things that I haven't seen in quite some time, which means that people are actually trying new things. I've seen a lot more hook sabo builds to try to tease something. I'm seeing people finally let go of the same crutches every match. But I need this for when I run into a nurse. And that's another thing I haven't heard. I haven't heard people complaining about running into Nurse and Blight all day. If anything, I've heard them complain about running into Wesker because that's all anybody wants to play. But all of this to say, I'm not seeing what I thought I would see, and that makes me very happy. Yes, I still see my fair share of sprint bursts and lives, but that doesn't. I kind of knew that, but it's not one universal build on 4 people. Deliverance is the perk I was thinking of earlier. I see a few more deliverances for some awesome plays every now and again, but it doesn't do anything in the long run to make me that annoyed. It'd be different if everybody was running Deliverance and Sprint Burst and prove that shit. Like, whatever, if there was one universal build, I'd be a lot more upset than I am. But I can't help but be just a little bit grateful that a new meta hasn't developed yet, which is something that I didn't think I would say, because it's much more it's much easier to come up with something that'll tackle the same 4 perks over and over again for every bad guy. You know, you kind of just start to understand what works with what and what works against what. But, you know, everything throws me a new bone, and you say, you know, hey, you're still making videos that are like for the current meta. I am, because at the same time, there are some things that are repeated, but it's not the exact same thing that's repeated all the time. I tell you, you use this perk for exhaustion, that's going to cover your bases for both the lives and the sprint burst. I'm not giving you something to cover just the almighty E. I'm not giving you something just to counter off the record. And, you know, to that extent, I haven't even seen off the record that much anymore, which is weird. Everybody's been talking about, like, for example, the blood rush that we've all been scared of. People are complaining, well, they just made a perk that gets countered by tunneling, and people are tunneling more. But yet I'm not seeing any more off the records. I'm seeing a lot less of those. It's very weird now that I go next to people that just were off the hook, and I hear their noises, and I'm like, wait, why can I hear you? Because people aren't running off the record, and I don't know why. I truly can't figure it out, but I'm okay with that. It's not to say that off the record ever gave me a problem, because I don't tunnel. It's very rare that I'll find the same person and actually pursue them off the hook again. But at the end of the day, I'll take what I can get. I'll get some variety. Now I can if I really wanted to, but it's not to say that it's the thing that breaks the bank. Everything that people have been holding on to for dear life has been more or less eradicated by their own volition. I've been telling people that Unbreakable is still a very good perk, and that the only thing that happened with DS is that people forgot that Unbreakable was good. The combo of DS and Unbreakable has always been the main issue. Yeah, it's quote unquote a free escape at the end game, but it always, well, it used to, I should say, gave you this moment of helplessness. You either leave them on the ground and they pick themselves up, or you pick them up and get stunned. And that was always something super annoying to deal with. But now, people haven't brought back that combo. People are trying different things, and I actually have to think, for the most part. You know, like, the last meta got so redundant, you kind of just go on autopilot. So many people have talked about the fact that I can finally lunge now. I know I've said it. And you go, whoa, what do you mean you couldn't lunge before? What, was your game bug? No, if I lunged, somebody had E at all times. And I'm proud of the community for doing much less crying about E than I thought they would. I do know a lot more people have gone, oh, I'm just not going to play this game anymore. There's nothing for me left. They just keep making it bad guy-sided. I can't even press E every time I want to just win. You know, I haven't seen that nearly as much. I have seen a lot of stupid arguments in the community, but that's possibly another discussion. I don't know. But thankfully, I haven't seen nearly as much crying about the perks or the people they run into besides Wesker. I don't hear any more complaints. And that's not to say that I've taken a break from the areas that there would be complaints. No, no, no. But I'm really happy. The lack of a meta has caused so much less complaining about, oh, you're using that person? Yeah, I know people don't like Skull Merchant and Knight right now. And then next month they'll dislike Dredge or somebody, because last month it was Wraith, right? I don't care when it's one individual bad guy and they keep taking turns. But people now learned. You're probably the nurse you can just sprint burst away from? Yeah. Yeah, just do that. Or the lithe away from, or whatever. Or the blight that you are now lithing away from. There's so many things that have introduced themselves to counterplay that has been fantastic. And there's so many things that are a lot worse than what we gave credit for. I thought Gearhead was going to be top notch. I think we all did, because it was kind of cracked in the PTB. It sounds cracked on paper. But I'm going to be honest, I barely get value from it on characters I'm not dedicating, kind of a build towards it, or if it doesn't interact with their power in some way. I'm very surprised that, like, are you all not getting skill checks on that other side? I don't know what's going on with that, but, in this footage, you'll see me get a hit and look around for, like, 3 years. I'm not seeing Gearhead value too often. Yeah, it burns through distortion stacks, but I could just play the game for some things. So, it's just very weird. I don't think I've ever been so happy to be so wrong in a video game before. And it's just wrong because I didn't call what's meta right. I mean, mine is Fearmonger being actually pretty good right now. And anything else that causes exhaustion. But with the changes overall, the people are healing each other. It's finally, the 4v1 has finally realized it's 4v1. They finally realized to start playing together. It's not to say that people aren't still immediately taking themselves out of the game at the slightest inconvenience, but hey, now the immediate, like, heals, that means that two people are together. That doesn't mean that one person just crouched in a corner for 4 seconds and is already back at it. I'm happy with the trajectory of things. So, tell me if you are too. And, yeah, I don't know. Everything that I thought was going to be, like, meta outside of Fearmonger is kind of just, and I mean, Sprint Burst and Live on the other side too. But, you know, use different things. And that's all I gotta say to that extent. If you liked the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.